Okay, everyone, so our cake is baked. It's not quite cooled off enough yet to take it apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our pork ready. Um, Now, what I'm going to do with this pork when I'm done is I will probably cut up peppers and onions. I have mushrooms. I have some cabbage, and I'll probably do a stir fry with some rice later. But just making the meat is what we're going to focus on. Y'all know how to make a stir fry. I have broccoli, I have fresh broccoli, I have Brussels sprouts, I have every kind of vegetable, peppers, onions, so on and so forth. I am going to show you where I'm going to get my green pepper or my green onions from, though, because that's pretty cool. But let's get this meat started and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is the pork that I got um, yesterday for $2.21. It was $7.39. It made it $1.49 a pound, so not too bad considering it is 1.48, right? Okay, so we're going to start off. We're going to put our meat into this Ziploc. And the reason I'm using a Ziploc today and not something else is because I had this covering a dessert and it didn't get dirty inside, so I figured I might as well use it, get it dirty, and then throw it away, right? Disposable. Okay, so let me get this going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce into my bag. Just a little bit, just enough to moisten everything up. And I'm going to mush it around, break up all of the meat. So we're just going to break it all up really nice. And that's a lot of meat. That could be like 2 different meals. You could do tacos and you could do a stir fry. You could do anything in the world with it. Okay, so we got that going. And I'm going to use this Mexican um, seasoning that I got the other day for $1.53. It was marked down from $4.49. I am going to use some of this because some of the flavors and it's just, I made some pork loin with it the other day and it was just perfect with it. So we're going to use this. Okay. And then we're also going to put some ground ginger in there. And we're going to mix it all up. Make sure you get them corners in. I've never been much of someone that did all of the Ziploc bag cooking stuff, but you know, when it's here and you can use it and then throw it away, why not, right? Okay, so we've got that in there. Now what we're going to put in next, I don't know why my dog is doing that. She has autistic issues and I'm not certain what she's up to. Okay, so next we're going to put in our corn starch. Okay, and now what's really important with the cornstarch is when we get it in there, we need to make certain that everything is coated and all of the meat is separated. So you might have to do this 2 or 3 times. Sprinkle some in there. And with the cornstarch, that's going to just give it a really good coating for when you start frying. Like I said, it might take 2 or 3 times. I think we can get it done in 2. So just a little bit each time. Okay. Probably got too much in it that time, but that's okay. We'll just take the meat out of it. Not a big deal. Okay, so we've got our meat coated. Now we need to get our skillet ready. Okay, so I have my skillet. I'm not using a wok today. I'm just going to use this, and that way I can build on it later. I just want to show you how to make the meat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my vegetable oil first. I'm going to put quite a bit in the bottom. Don't need a whole lot, but you want enough that when you start flipping that meat around that it's grabbing every single side. Okay, so I'm going to use my coconut oil, and I'm going to tell you, coconut oil is really hard to work with sometimes, but you know what I found makes it so much easier? one of these. I'll show you what it is. Hold on, I'll show you. This is one of those meat choppers that you use when you're doing your ground beef. So I always use one of these to get into my coconut oil. It just makes it so much easier. It just kind of cuts down, and then that gives me enough most of the time, and that's plenty. I probably don't even need this much oil in this pan, really, but I just wanted to make certain that we had enough to really coat the pork, as well as when I take the pork out, there'll be enough oil left in the pan to do peppers and onions and broccoli and all of the other things that we're going to do in there to make our stir fry later. So here is our sesame oil. If you remember, I got them for $2.47 a piece, and I ended up getting 3 of them. I'm on my second one, so very sparingly. I'm going to put a little bit, not right like that. This one I just opened. So let's see here. I'm going to put a little bit of sesame oil in it, just enough for flavor, and that's it. I also used to have some hot chili sesame oil, which was like my favorite, but I don't have that anymore. Okay, so we're going to let that oil get really, really super hot. We're going to work with our meat a little bit. Make sure we get that cornstarch in between every little piece of meat, and I just stuck my thumb through the bottom of the bag. So we need to get a bowl to set it in real quick. Man, I'm strong. We'll just put it on a plate. That'll work. Oh, and right there, that's what's left of my pizza bread. Doesn't it look wonderful? There's the cake. We're getting ready to take care of that in just a minute. So let's let this heat up and get everything ready to rock. Okay, so we got our meat, and I've got everything pretty much coated, and then we're just going to drop it when we get that hot enough. Let's just test it. Very nice. It is hot enough, so just make sure we get everything coated. That's what's important. People forget about cornstarch in applications of cooking. And, you know, I did too for a long time. And then I was like, you know what? What was it that everybody was using to make such and such? And I was like, cornstarch. So it's something that you should actually have in your pantry at all times. It's great for making like gravies, coatings, and like this. It just makes stuff better. Gotta like it. Okay. Let's see if we can get the rest of it in here. I have a dog right below me, and she's catching every piece of cornstarch that poofs out. Okay. All right. So let's just see where we are here. We don't want to move it too much because we want to keep as much coating on that as we can. I'll tell you what would even be better would be like some peanut oil or something like that in there. So we're going to let that cook for a minute, and I'm going to get the cake ready so that we can cut the cake and see where we are. Okay, so one thing I'm going to say is that I did get my pan cockeyed, so it is bigger on one side than the other. But look at this. It's got a nice color. It lifts off that pan really well. Now let's cut it and see. Let's see what it looks like, so that way we know if it actually did what it was supposed to do. Really easy to cut, of course, not too heavy-handed. Let's see here. Very nice. And there you go. You can see where everything rose. You've got your little pockets of air. Let's get a little bite of it. Now remember, this is lemon cake. Perfect. 6 years out. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay, let's get this stirred up a little bit. Now look, do you see the golden color and the like coating on that? Wonderful. Now, if you could smell the sesame oil cooking, wonderful as well. So that's how I do my meat when I get that kind of pork, is I make it and then I get that little coating on it. And I just keep frying it till it's done. We'll take it out of that oil, and then I'll use that to cook the vegetables for my stir fry. So there you go. That's how I do my meat. Just look at it. See that? See that coating? All right, you guys. That's it. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance.